What's going on, people, and welcome back to another golf ball review. Today we're doing the SrixonDistance. I had a pack of these gifted to me again. The feel of this, just gripping it and touching it before I played with it, I feel like it was the heaviest ball. Like, it felt like it might be the heaviest ball that I've tested so far. But then interestingly, when I did play with it, it felt quite light off of a lot of the clubs, especially the irons. And the putting. It does feel like it's got a thin layer of coating. I would show you guys, but I used them all yesterday when I played. I didn't have the greatest game, but so I haven't actually got a physical model here to show you. But the feel of it is quite a rough feel and quite thin. It's a two-piece ball, obviously. It's not going to feel the most. It's going to feel like a higher-end ball because of that. Some of the other balls that have been two pieces feel better. So it does feel rough and quite thin, and it felt quite heavy. But like I said, when you actually play, it feels kind of the opposite in terms of light off the club. So did fly off the irons, especially. For the overall feel, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10 because it wasn't brilliant and it wasn't terrible, but yeah, very average. 5 out of 10 for feel. The design of it, there's not a lot going on with it. I will put a picture up before the video for this one, as I don't have a ball left to show you on camera. It's got the red writing on it that you can use as the alignment tool, but it's, as you can see, it's pretty thin. I did use it when I was out, but it's not the easiest to see and it's not the widest either. So if you do get a bunch of these, you're probably going to want to put your own lines on them. There's not a lot going on with the design. You got the Srixon right and the number, and then that little alignment aid on the side. So simple design, nothing special. Again, I would give it a 5 out of 10. The durability of these, not great. Again, I noticed scuffs and cuts and roughness and a bits of paint chipping off very quickly within a couple of holes. So it's not great for the durability either. You are getting it for a cheaper price for a lot of balls, but you'd still expect the durability from a bigger name like Srixon to kind of deliver a bit better in that field. And they have to cut costs somewhere, and I think, again, this is one of the major ones, is the durability. Probably the worst I've tested for durability. It didn't take long for me to start noticing scuffs and things, so you would need to replace these even every 9 holes, let alone 18, because they do mark up easily. I'd give them a 4 out of 10 for durability. Forgiveness, not very forgiving. They're good in the price range for a beginner, but in terms of forgiveness and you're trying to learn the game, these are not going to help you, in my opinion. I would say I'm like a year and a half into my golf journey and I struggled with these, so I don't think they're the most forgiving at all. Did notice a lot of, like, on miss hits and that, they're not the most friendly and forgiving, so I'd give them a 3 out of 10 for that. Off the driver, does deliver in the distance department when you hit it right. I didn't get a bunch of them right, but I hit a couple that went pretty far. Other than that, though, they do spin a lot in the air, and like, if you struggle with a hooker or a slice, you're going to probably lose a few of these balls because they do spin a lot in a bad way. You do hit the odd one right, it does go the distance that it sort of says that it will, but it's few and far between. I think it could be a lot better off the tee with a spin, so I'd give it a 4 out of 10 for the driver. 5 wood, similar to the driver, 4 out of 10 again. I hit one or two again with the 5 wood that was decent, but other than that, not great. Too much spin again, 4 out of 10. Hybrid, I only used one shot with a hybrid. Very nearly hit a tree, but I just skimmed it and missed it. And it was a rocket, to be honest. So the hybrid, I have no complaints, and it flew and hit it flush. So 10 out of 10 for the hybrid. Irons, as I said, the ball flies off the face, especially more than the other clubs. It's not the most forgiving, as I said, but when you do hit it right, it does feel pretty nice off the irons, and it does fly a distance, and it's quick to get off and go off the irons. So it feels light on the impact as well for me, from what I remember. So I'd give it a 7 out of 10 for the irons. Wedges, it was okay. It was nothing that blew me away around the greens. I hit a few good shots around there with it, but I didn't feel like it done better than other balls, really. It wasn't it wasn't terrible, as I said, but it wasn't great. I'd just say average. So I give it a 5 out of 10 for the wedges. Putting, I thought it had a very good roll on the putting. I was pretty happy with it. You don't have to give it a lot of power in your swing to get the ball moving and going. You just have to touch it a little bit, and it does roll very well, and it does feel light. So as much as it's good, you have to be careful, because I did overhit a few even when I tapped it. So you do have to be careful in that sense. But I think overall for putting on the greens, if it's not scuffed up, as I said, which is a problem, it's good. But it comes into that durability again. Like, if you manage to get on the green and it's not scuffed up, it's good. But if not, you have to question that. I did hold some nice putts with it also. It is easy to overhit as well. So a bit of a mix for the putting, but I'd give it a 7 out of 10. Price to value, you can get 12 of these for £14 or just over. Pretty, like, you're not going to find many better deals for golf balls of a higher name like Srixon in the market for that much and that value. But as I said, I feel like this is probably the worst ball I've tested. So it's good for the price to value if you're a newbie or like a beginner, but again, it's not the most forgiving ball. So you're gonna achieve in some aspects, and it's gonna fault you in others. So bear that in mind. But the price for a new person getting into golf, you're scared about losing a lot of balls, then it's good for that. It's just not the most forgiving. If you're someone that's trying to improve your golf and you're kind of a mid to low handicap or just trying to get better, I would not suggest these balls, because like I've discussed already. So pinch of salt with this. You have to know what you're going into it when you're buying it. With this one, I'd give it a 5 out of 10 for price to value. But overall conclusion, I just didn't get on with this ball. I wanted to because of the price. But the price mainly because you can get them for cheaper for a lot of balls compared to other companies and brands. But I feel like that is shown up in the durability and the spin and the forgiveness not being what I wanted it to be. You see that in the price, unfortunately. Definitely the worst durability I've tested. It's more than okay for a beginner in the price to value, as I said, but it's not good for the forgiveness, which will hurt you as a beginner especially. So conclusion, I'd give it a 4 out of 10. Overall score, 63 out of 120, and an overall rating, 5 out of 10. So general round average ball. I wanted to like it. Unfortunately, that price is there for a reason, because it doesn't deliver like some of the other balls. So this one is the lowest I've ranked so far. This sits in 5th place, the SrixonDistance. But someone might get on with it better than I did. So it's always worth giving them a try. But for me, it didn't work. I'm going to be playing next week. I'm going to be testing the Callaway Super Soft, which I'm excited about. I've got them in the red version, so I'll be testing them next. And then I've got the Bridgestone E6. Got a sleeve of 3 of them to test. So you've got a couple of weeks of golf ball reviews coming up. Hope you enjoyed it. In a bit.